Hi everyone, it's Melanie and welcome back to Living Luxuriously for Less, where we celebrate, decorate, and enjoy everyday life for less. I recently posted on my social media about a new series that I wanted to start called Melanie, How Would You Handle This? And this series is dedicated to event planning and design, decor questions for right now. We may expand it later on, but for right now, I am going to do a series at least once a month that will address any event planning questions that you may have that is outside of Lux Academy. So today I am going to pull up the questions directly from social media and I'm going to answer them for you in today's video. Be sure to grab a pen, pencil, a sheet of paper. Be sure to bookmark this video for later because I'm sure that I'm going to be dropping some very valuable tools for you all to use later on in your life and business. So without any further delay, let's get started. The first question comes from Latoya Jones, and her question was, how do you handle clients, usually family and church members, who are always looking for a discount? And I literally got 3 or 4 questions that was pretty much the exact same questions, friends, family, church members, the people that know us before we become event professionals, those are the people that are constantly looking for discounts. And so the way that I have handled that for my family members, I have established a standard discount that I give to family members, and I still give them an invoice. So I pretty much treat them like a normal client. I send them to HoneyBook, and if you haven't signed up for HoneyBook, let me tell you, that is probably the best step that I've ever taken in ensuring that others saw my business as a real business, saw me as a business professional. And so once I took my business out of my emails, out of my text messages, and I invested in a client management system, it let them know upfront that I meant business. And so whenever they reached out to me about an upcoming wedding, event, baby shower, I would send them to my system and say, hey, yeah, that sounds great. And then I would send them the link to my system for them to fill out the information. And then once I assessed what their needs were, I had scheduled a conference call with them to discuss the needs. And then from there, I would tell them what my standard discount is for friends and family, for church members. If you choose to do that, for me, I just have a standard discount for family members. And church, I still do all of my events at church free because that's where I got my start. And so I felt like by me investing my gift into the church, that God took that talent and he broke it, he blessed it, and he multiplied it. So my church events, I still do at no cost, but members of my church, I may give them like, okay, this is the standard discount for members. Maybe it's 10%, maybe it's 15%, whatever that looks like for you. You need to establish that if you're willing to do that and lay that out as you start having conversations with them about their weddings and events. But the biggest thing I would have to say that was a separator for me, and this is just not me trying to push HoneyBook, this is the honest to God truth. Once I got the system and I sent them through my website or through my system, it totally changed their perspective of doing business with me. And so if there was one thing that I would tell you to do, I would definitely tell you to take your business out of your text messages and off your emails and invest in a client management system. I will leave a link down below for HoneyBook, and I will also, in addition to that, I will share some of my templates with you, like maybe a free contract template or something of that nature if you haven't already signed up for HoneyBook. So be sure to look out in my description box and in the first pinned comment for that information. But listen, take your business out of the personal realm and put it into the professional realm. And I promise you, they will have so much more respect for you and your business. I hope that helped. My second question comes from Calvin Lewis, and it says, how do you handle when the wedding party / the bridesmaids, groomsmen don't get along, and have you ever experienced that? Okay, so I have personally never experienced the bridesmaids and the groomsmen not getting along, but with people, if you have a group of more than one person, there is going to be some personality conflicts. And so what I would recommend as a professional is that you set the pace. I always start my rehearsals and meetings with prayer. So I always set and establish the standard with prayer. And I try not to involve myself in the personal conflicts that they have going on. I keep it, I keep focus on the bigger picture, which is the bride and the groom. Okay. And so I try not to get involved with personal conflicts, but should the personal conflicts arise, I do get my clients involved with that and let them know, hey, this is something that needs to be addressed. It is at this point, beyond my realm or my scope, and this is a conversation that needs to happen offline. And let me tell you, that is the number one reason I stopped directing or coordinating weddings. Just the personality piece of it was too much for me to manage. And so I have someone who is excellent with that. But what I have found, I work with 3 different wedding planners. And what I have found is that the older the wedding planner is, the more respect they get. I promise you. It's like when they see an older person, it's like all the disrespect, all of the disagreements just somehow disappear. And I look at the age of the bridal party, and if they are like 30 and below, then someone my age would work perfectly fine. But if they're an older individual, I like to use my wedding planners that are over 55, 65, like in that age range, because they see that individual as a mom or a grandmother. And 9 times out of 10, they're not going to get too far out of hand or too disrespectful with that individual. So I hope that helps you, Calvin. The next question I have is a great question. It is by Debbie Bubbles. And her question was, would you take on a client whose lifestyle or spiritual beliefs do not line up with yours biblically? So I think that's kind of a loaded question. And let me just say this. If their lifestyle does not align with the word of God and it has been brought to my attention, then that's something I pray about. And I ask God, how should I handle this particular wedding or this particular event? Does this align with your will? Does this align with your way? And from that prayer, that's how I make the decision. I've had some very sticky situations over the years, but I'm so thankful that I've had clients that respect me and respect my beliefs. And if it's a belief that I feel very strongly about and God convicts my heart about, I'm going to step away from it. And I don't care how much money is associated with it. I don't care how much notoriety is associated with it. If God convicts my heart concerning it, it's not going to happen. I'm going to have to remove myself, because there is nothing more important to me than my relationship with God. And I'm not willing to risk that for the sake of money. I'm just not. And so when I speak to these individuals, I don't necessarily preach to them, but I lay out my belief and my foundation, and I do so without violating their beliefs and their foundation. I do it in a way of respect, like I do it in a respectful way. You respect what I believe, and you're free to believe what you want to believe, right? And so that is the way that I handle those situations. But y'all, I have had some tough situations. One time, I had I don't even want to say, yeah. I've had some tough situations, and let me tell you, prayer has definitely led the way. Prayer and wisdom. And all that I'm get understanding. And so I pray for wisdom and understanding, and every single time God has worked it out for me. So I hope that helps you. Okay, so the next question comes from Janice Farley. And this is what Janice said. Thank you. I look forward to this. How do you handle the storage of items? And do you have any great tips that have worked well for you for items such as chargers? So great question, Janice. It's so funny that you asked me that, because I am currently working on a project that I think it's going to help you all a great deal. I worked on this project, abandoned it, went back to it, and now I'm currently working on it again. And so I think it's going to really help you a great deal. But for right now, let me answer your question. So the storage of my items, I actually have, at first I was in a warehouse. Well, first I had a venue. Then I moved into my friend. She had like a basement. It was huge. And I stored things there. And then I started looking for a warehouse, let it slip through the cracks, and then I ended up storing my things in a storage unit. But all of my units are right together and they're right by the door. It's perfect. And I don't have to worry about utilities or anything like that. But So that is where I store my items for now until I find the perfect warehouse. And then for items such as chargers that are very heavy, I had shared some wagons on Amazon, some really heavy duty wagons. I put my chargers inside of a big container inside of the wagon, and they never move. They always stay in that wagon. So when we load them onto the U-Haul, we're able to roll the wagon up to the U-Haul and roll it off. And then during the event, we roll the wagon around the event and place the chargers on the table. So it is so easy to use, and it makes it not only it's easy, it's functional, it's ergonomically friendly, it's all the things. So the storage, transportation, and use is all in one. So my advice to you would be to, if you can, buy a wagon to dedicate just to chargers. Okay, I have one for gold, one for silver, and put them inside of a container. So you don't want to just put them in the wagon. You want to put the container in the wagon and then put the chargers inside of that container, because you can still stack things on top of the wagon. And then if that doesn't work, before I started using the wagon method, I was using milk crates, the hard milk crate, and I would stack my chargers in there. But those have been the two ways that I have been able to take care of my chargers and still be able to function with them as well. So hope that helps you, Janice. The next question that I have is from Sarita Thomas, and she said, how do you care for sequin tablecloths that are placed on tables for the guests? I try to use them where the possibility of being ruined are very low. And so typically when I use sequin tablecloths, I use them on the bridal table, the cake table, and the head table. Now, if I ever use them for guest tables, which I have sometimes, the way that I care for them, either you're going to have to hand wash this, spray, you want to take the stain spray, I can't think of the name of it right now, and if there's a stain on it at the wedding or the event, you want to spray it right then and there. And then as soon as you get home, you want to go ahead and launder it. At first, I used to spot clean all of my linens, and then I was talking to an older, very wise event planner who's been in the game forever. I was asking her about how to take care of my sequin tablecloths, and she was like, throw them in the washer. Girl, I put them in the washer on delicate, and then I put them in the dryer for just like a fluff, like maybe 10 or 15 minutes, not real long at all, and to get most of the water out. And then I hung them on a hanger to let them air dry. No issues whatsoever. Now, I do keep candles away from my sequin linens. I try to keep loose candles, away from that. But outside of that, using chargers will also help to protect your linens. And you can just care for them, put them in the washing machine on delicate cycle, fluff dry them real quick, and let them finish drying by hanging. I have not had any issues with mine, and I've been caring for them that way for probably since 2017, I believe is when she told me that. The next question comes from Rita Coleman, and Rita said, I recently decided to make this a profitable business as I always did it for my friends and my family. How did you find dependable people to help? That is so awesome, Rita. So for me, a lot of the people that initially started helping me also went to my ministry, and they volunteered with me on the helps and events ministry at church. So they naturally already had an interest in it. If you don't have an individual that's interested, a lot of times, people use their children, their spouses, relatives that may be interested in this. You can also use teenagers that are looking for something to do on the weekend. I recently saw a post on Facebook, and it was called Event Helpers. And all they did was, you paid like a flat fee. I think it was like $150 a day. And the people would come out and help you unload the truck and set up your truck. And I was like, wow, that is so awesome. Another thing that I've done once before was that I hired some movers to come and load up their U-Haul with my event planning things, and then drop them off at the venue, unload everything, and then at the end of the day, they came and picked it back up and loaded it back up. And so you can use movers, you can use day workers, you can also look for people that work at a hotel or a venue that may be looking for something on the side. A lot of people are looking for side hustles and side gigs now. So that is where I would start. and I don't want to sound like too overly religious, but pray about it. You would be amazed at how I recognize different gifts in my team members. I can give you just one quick example. One of my team members, Lanita, she's like my right hand and my left hand. The way she and I got started was way back when I first got started. Sashes were really popular. And she had a little boy, Travis. Now, Travis is grown and married and has a baby on the way. He's married to Adelie, actually. But Travis would always cry because he would not want anyone to tie his shoe but his mom. And I was like, why this little boy don't want nobody to tie his shoe but you? But anyway, when she tied the shoe perfectly. And from that point on, I was like, oh my gosh, she makes such pretty bows. And so I gave her one of the sashes at an event we were doing for church or something. And she tied the bows and they were splendid. Every single one of them were perfect. And that's exactly how she started working with me. Because of how she tied her son's shoe, I recognized the gift that she had for bow tying, and she started tying sashes for me. That is a true story. And so start praying. Ask God to show you unique gifts in individuals that you may normally look over because they're not the florist or they're not the balloon artist or whatever. There is an innate gift in all of us that God has placed in all of us. And so start praying and just looking for unique gifts in individuals. And that will enable you to further your business. And in the same token, it's a win-win because you're blessing them and they're blessing you. Another example would be there was a young man who was coming to church with his sister, and he had a little bit of a physical disability, but he loved to help. And so at the end of the day, you know, when we would have events, nobody would want to take out the trash. Like, nobody wants to do that. But he was like, oh, Miss Melanie, I'll get the trash. And it just brought him so much pride to be able to get all the trash out to the dumpster in place. And so, you know, you just never know. People have so many different gifts, and that was a gift that I needed, that I did not have, and it was such a blessing. And do you know that this, not this particular man, but later on, I met another guy that all he does at the end of the night is go around in his truck, collect the trash from the wedding, and take it to the dumpster. And he makes $200 to $500 doing that, just taking trash to the dumpster from a wedding. Okay, so there's money to be made everywhere. There are gifts everywhere. Just take advantage of those and pray and ask God to send you the right people, because honey, the wrong people can come into your business as well. So make sure you need to ask them, who sent you? Are you a helper of God or are you a helper of the enemy? So be sure to pray about it, use your discernment, and look beyond the ordinary gifts. Look for the unordinary or the extraordinary things, the inordinary or the extraordinary things. And I think you will be blessed by that. The next question comes from Ms. Cynthia Kelly. And Cynthia, thank you so much. Cynthia is actually the one that suggested this video series. So you guys be sure to thank Cynthia down in the comments. And so what Cynthia said, hi Melanie, thank you so much for this question and answer. Even though I love my hobby of decorating, I do expect to get paid. Someone told me the real money comes from outside family and friends who generally expect a discount. Is this to be expected? And so, no, you know what? My family and friends put me on first. That's actually how I grew my business. And so, Cynthia, if you remember in Lux Academy, when I told you guys the secret of starting your business with no money, that was with friends and family. Okay. And so as you grow and as you go further ahead, your friends and your family, if you have the right ones in your corner, they're going to be the ones to support you outside. They're going to be the ones to recommend you. And, you know, I think that it's all in how you handle it. I think that goes back to the first question I answered earlier. You know, present yourself like the professional that you are. And I think that you'll see that your friends and your family's members are going to be a lot more susceptible to paying those fees and those prices. And if it gets to the point where your business is wearing and tearing on your relationship with your family members, then don't do business with family. Okay. And so, but I think that it's all in how you handle it. And, you know, make sure that when you're talking to them, hey, okay, I don't mind giving you this discount, but I know you work for XYZ company and you guys have XYZ event, I would love for you to put me in contact with someone so that I could do an event for this particular company. So make sure that it's a win-win. And it's not to be expected. You know, like I said, just present yourself as the professional that you are, and they will respect that. Whether they decide to use your gifts and your talent or not, they will respect the fact that you're running your business like a business. And the last question of this segment goes to Claudia Robles. And she said, hello, Melanie. I know that you have many videos about graduation, but I wanted to ask, what trends do you think will be the rave for this 2025 grad season? I'd like to get a head start, and thanks in advance and be blessed. So, Claudia, great question. And so if you guys haven't already watched my video about the 2025 trends for weddings and events, definitely check it out. I will leave the link here and at the end of the video. But for graduation, I think personalization is going to be all the rave. The cutouts, the personalized pictures of themselves, the 4x8 photo boards, dance floors, the ceiling, what they call drapescaping, where they use the fringe and hang it out of the ceiling. That's going to be big. Balloons are not going anywhere. So all of those all of the personalization or personalized decor pieces will definitely be all the rave this graduation season. I don't see bows going anywhere. I'm seeing a lot more like lighting, like not just, you know, up lights. I'm talking about lighting, like pyrotechnic kind of lighting. You know what I mean? Like where things are moving and dancing and all of that. I'm seeing that. And also the drama draping. All of that is going to be big for 2025 for graduation season. So definitely check out my video on the 2025 trends for wedding and events and pick out some of those things that you know can carry over into graduation. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video today. Let me know if you want me to keep this series coming. And if you have any questions, leave them down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, I also have an online school called Lux Academy. You can take it online or in person. I also have payment plans available. The online class is $7.97 and the in-person class is $12.97. And my schedule is already up for this year. And you can take the online class at any time. It's self-paced, and I do have monthly meetings so that as you're taking this self-paced course, if you run into some issues, you can definitely reach out. We have a community that you can reach out at any time, so you're not in this alone. And again, you can pay it in full or you can make payments towards it. But once you're finished and you've successfully completed everything, you will get a certification. And so it does come with a certification as well. So if you have any questions about that, I will leave a video at the end of this video that details a little bit more about it. And I will also leave the link for you to check it out as well. So thank you all so much for watching. Until next time, it's Melanie with Living Luxuriously for Less. Cheers. Are you passionate about event design and decor? Or do you find yourself dreaming of turning your passion into a profitable business? Well, if so, look no further than Lux Academy. Our online, self-paced, and in-person courses will provide you with all the tools, resources, and guidance that you need to establish a successful business in the wedding and event planning industry. From contracts and pricing to financing and branding, we have got you covered. With our Lux lectures, our labs, and our legacies, you'll gain the knowledge and the insight you will need to create beautiful backdrops, stunning centerpieces, and you will also learn how to negotiate and host client consultations. Join us at Lux Academy and turn your passion into profit by enrolling today. Payment plans are available. We also have free classes that are offered, so be sure to check us out at luxacademy.online. And if you're looking to grow in this season of your life and or business, I am so excited to announce that I am now offering
channel memberships. Now, there are 3 different levels that you can support, and at the highest tier, I will be offering group mentorship and one-on-one mentorship. So definitely check it out by clicking on the join button and find a package that works best for you. Now, I just want to remind you that nothing about the channel will change. I will still offer the same videos at the same frequencies, but these memberships are just for those of you that would like to support my channel more, to get more behind the scenes content, or you want that mentorship that you've always dreamed of having. So check it out and let me know what you think down in the comments.